That's for free.
Yeah.
All right, recording is started. Welcome everybody. This is the AMA for a project called See Me. We have Mistress on here and several of her team. So the way we like to do these is we're pretty informal on our AMAs. But what we'd like you to do is maybe give us a quick introduction and either a really brief or a really long explanation about your project and what you guys have going on. Don't everybody talk at once.
Carmen can take it myself. Here I am. Got on camera, got an ability to get off. Well, Mistress, if it's okay with you, I'll start us off. That's perfect. So first off, thank you guys so much for hosting us and giving us your time today to get an opportunity for us to share with you.
Carmen, we're not hearing you.
You can't hear me well?
I can hear Carmen.
Yeah, I do hear you, Carmen.
Okay. For the person who could not hear me, maybe we can type in the main chat to exit and come back in. You know, Telegram does that to us. So guys, today we're here to be excited and share with you the See Me project. But in order to understand what this project means to the founders and the community behind it, you need to understand the Neuro Collective. The Neuro Collective, we've put the link into the main chat here for everyone, and Mistress right now is scrolling through the main page. You can go to the neurocollective.com. That is the mission project, and this is where See Me is stemming from. See Me is an NFT project, and we're going to tell you all the details about, you know, exciting launch dates, how to get in, what the meaning behind the art is, who the artist is. But again, to understand why this project matters and why we're so excited to share that, first we have to understand the Neuro Collective. So the Neuro Collective was founded by 3 founders, Ramona, Lawrence, and Cole. All of them are neurodivergent. What does that mean? They may have autism, Asperger's, ADHD, you know, these non-neurotypical, conditions. Now, I have met these founders and I've known them for a couple of months now as they were building this project. And I can tell you I've never found a more dedicated crew. The mission of the Neuro Collective is to help unleash and harness superpowers. Now, to understand what do they mean by that mission, first, we have to understand what neurodivergency is and why there's a mission to do something about how people see those who are neurodivergent. To make it super simple to understand, right now, when we think about how our minds are processing things, there's usually 2 categories that people are put into. Neurotypical, which is normal brain function, and neurodivergent, which are people who don't have typical function. Now, neurodivergency, if you think about your life, the people that matter to you, the people you work with, the people you've gone to school with, at some point you may have met somebody who has said, I have ADD, I have ADHD, I have autism, I have a son that's autistic or has Asperger's or who is on the spectrum. They're everywhere. Now, the mission of the Neuro Collective is to show people that there isn't 2 categories, that we're all just a simple variation of how our brain functions. There's a problem by there being a category for one or the other, and it comes down to social interactions. When somebody is diagnosed as being neurodivergent, oftentimes that is perceived as a disability. Now think about it. If you were told that you now have a disability, it's only human to think, I don't want to feel different. I don't want to be perceived as different. And sometimes what we do as humans is we start to mask ourselves to fit in socially. Now, what happens when when somebody who's neurodivergent starts to mask this, and because they're attempting to avoid the prejudice that comes down or the perceptions of who they are based on this categorization of how their brain works. Sometimes when people mask themselves and try to fit in socially, it's at the detriment of their own self-being and their own self-identity. And this is why it's important for the founders and the entire neurocollective community to say there isn't two categories. We're all in one. We all just function differently. And in fact, the founders of this project continue to prove day after day after day that they don't have a disability. They have superpowers. And so does every single person. Whether you're neurodivergent or you're an ally, meaning that you're neurotypical and yet you have somebody that you know, or you support those who are neurodivergent, that the CME and the neurocollective projects are all inclusive. We know that people feel different inside, and that's something that resonates with people. Now, the neurocollective is really kicking off their entire mission about exposing this great mission to make sure that the world is inclusive and that we don't see people differently for their superpowers. And the first step in that right direction is to help people claim their passive income rights for all the good things that are to come with this project. And that kicks off with the CME NFT launch. So you're seeing the art right there. And this is what's most special about the way that these founders have really developed this project, is that every facet of this project has special meaning to the overall mission of what we're trying to accomplish. In these images that you see, the artist is Glyph Sputnik. Now, he's schizophrenic. He is categorized as being neurodivergent. He is well known for doing cover art for albums for great artists such as the Wu-Tang Clan, which a lot of us know. And if you take a look at the art, the project is called CME. We just spoke about masking and what it can do to somebody's mental state. If you take a look at the pictures, there's no ethnicity of the humanoid. There's different characteristics such as the facial expression, the eyes. There's something to be said by there being a bag over somebody's face. And by it being done by an artist that is also neurodivergent, it's really enriched the meaning of the art. But for those of you who are excited about cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, Web3, and the viability of what NFTs can do, you're absolutely going to love what's next. Beyond the art having such a beautiful meaning behind it, we also have great utility behind it, which means that there's in real life assets that are going to allow those who hold these NFTs to earn passive income. So today on this call, I have a couple of the founders. I also have our project manager, and I'm going to walk you through some of the most exciting things about this NFT launch. So first and foremost, I'm going to throw it to Mistress, because let's talk about what these guys are here to talk about today. We'll talk about the passive income and all the in real life assets, but let's talk about when is the first batch being delivered, what is the pre-mint, and when is the public mint. Everybody get your notepads out. We're going to give you the information that you want first, and then we're going to show you what value you're going to get if you participate.
Thanks so much, Carmen. You always do such a great job introducing the project and letting people know what we're all about. Our mint date for whitelist is the Thursday, June 23rd at 8 p.m. UTC time. There's still whitelist available, and actually we'll be giving whitelist as well as a free mint pass to someone random in the AMA tonight. And the public mint is on Thursday, Friday, which is the 24th, and that starts at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So there's still lots of opportunity to whitelist. I'm going to cut off that deadline probably by Wednesday because I have to have that uploaded. Our book, this is the Genesis collection. So our book, which is the first of our in real life project that we're launching, the book is completed. The manuscript is done. It's being shopped around to various book retailers as we speak. So that's in the works. So if you own one of these Genesis collections, it's only $2,100. If you own one of these, that entitles you to a percentage of every real life product that bears the See Me brand in future. So you earn passive income in perpetuity by owning this Genesis NFT collection.
I love that. Thank you so much, Mistress. So she dropped a little alpha there. So she gave you some really, important key dates, and those are happening this week. So we'll make sure to circle back to those dates for those of you who may be joining a little late. Now, jumping a little bit forward, she had already mentioned that there's a children's book that's already being shopped around. These founders have a very intricate roadmap of in real life business assets that they are creating and accomplishing. Each one of these projects are going to be supporting the overall mission to empower those that are neurodivergent and their allies to feel powerful, to mask themselves less, to live in their truth. And so she had just mentioned that there's a children's book. And I believe on this call, we have somebody who will be able to share with the audience a chapter or two from that book, who's also the co-author of that book. But also in the lines, we have a jewelry collection. There's apparel and merchandise. The illustrated and children's books are already done and on their way. Music videos and video NFTs, an animated series, graphic novels, and then also healthcare apps that help support the community and help people get the help that they need. That's a long list of utilities, and they're on the roadmap. So if you go to the neurocollective.com, you can click on that light paper to take a deeper look at the artists and background, the mission background, as well as understand what is on the roadmap coming up. And what's on the roadmap and what comes after it is just robust with in real life opportunities that for those of you who hold this NFT, the profit that comes back from those projects then become your opportunity for passive income. Now, Mistress, on your screen, I saw that you had shown our referral process. This is an example of how much of a community that we want to grow, that we understand that the success of a project, that the success of any mission that a project has to start with its community. And a big responsibility of the leadership in a project is to make sure that we're giving to that community back for their efforts to help us grow and become stronger. So what's really cool and what you may not have seen with too many NFT projects is that we have a referral program. When you refer a friend to mint a See Me NFT, we will reward you with 10% of that mint as a way to say thank you for bringing another person into the community. Mistress, did you want to add anything to that? This is your baby, and what a wonderful process for people to find other people to come in to a project that they love.
I think that's a good time for LJ if he could pop in and talk about. He does a really good job with it.
With the passive income, there you are, LJ.
Hello, good afternoon. Thanks, Carmen. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Awesome. Thank you, Steve, for allowing us to be here on your Telegram channel. Really appreciate that. Quick intro about myself. I'll try to keep it short. My name's Lawrence Jacobs. I live in Chicago, Illinois, also known as LJ. People call me LJ. I am a serial entrepreneur. I own 3 businesses in Chicago, 2 CrossFit facilities, and a 24/7 facility. So for the last 10 years, I have been helping people change their lives through health and fitness. I'm very passionate about what I do. I'm originally from a small town in Florida, and I've been off and online in the network marketing space for about 15 years as well. So I have to stay busy, otherwise I get a little whew. I have to keep my mind focused on things that I'm trying to achieve. And it's not about chasing money or chasing success. It's more about making an impact and trying to create. I enjoy working with teams of people. I enjoy working with projects where you can bring the strengths of other individuals together to achieve a project or complete a project. And when I was originally asked to come aboard here with my good friend Cole, who is not available, he's taking a cruise, and his good friend Ramona, my main interest for doing this was the NFT space. I've been online and learning about crypto for a number of years, and the NFT was always this, to me, a mysterious area of understanding, and I really wanted to just get involved. And when I found out what the plan was for the mission and the utility of this project, I was sold. It was an opportunity for me to learn and educate myself about NFTs and about the neurodivergent community. I've never actually been diagnosed, but I do know that it's something that I've always, I won't say dealt with, but tried to understand for me why I was a little bit different. I have to stay busy. It's a constant thing, and often I can hyper focus, but sometimes I have a lot of trouble focusing, and I'm just not right unless I have things going on to keep my mind occupied and keep myself busy. So yeah, this was a kind of a foregone conclusion here working with these people, and then to be able to build such an amazing team with Rochelle and Carmen and some of the others that are involved, Yomi, our author and book writer. It's been an amazing experience. I love network marketing because of a lot of different reasons. Sometimes it's about income, sometimes it's more about getting to work together with like-minded individuals who may not necessarily enjoy the typical 9-to-5, that grind. God bless everyone out there who's got a job and they're probably not working today, but who have the 9-to-5. But I, for one, believe in working for myself, having some sort of side hustle on top of a side hustle, especially today with the gig economy that we're dealing with right now. And that's a lot of the stuff that's going on online. You know, there's a lot of projects out there that are very meaningful. And this one in itself was meaningful for me, but it was also an opportunity to help others kind of make an income. And being that I have a pretty diverse background when it comes to network marketing, I saw an opportunity here to bring something to the space that I couldn't find. And that was the ability to share a project that you're passionate about and, you know, not make life-changing money, but make something that could help your situation. You know, 10% off of a mint isn't going to change anyone's lives, but it is something to get started. You know, our mint is $420, so anywhere around $40 you're going to make for sharing this project. I think that's important. You know, I've seen a lot of different projects in this space that I don't really understand why there's so much value in the project. It's not my project. I understand that there's trend value, but some of these projects out there don't have real world utilities. So for me, this project means a lot. You know, there's a lot behind what we're trying to achieve, and I'm excited to bring this to the world. I mean, a person could come in, and if they've got 10 friends who are really passionate about it, or if they've got a friend that has maybe a child who's autistic or on the spectrum in some way, you know, they might really feel attached to what we're doing here. And, you know, why not give that person the opportunity to share it with 10 people and make a couple $100, learn more about the space, get involved online, learn more about NFTs. It's a super positive thing. So we came up with this idea of sharing this project. I feel like it's profound. I don't see anyone else doing it. It's something that could be used in the future for other projects, and we're pretty proud of it. So, you know, we're getting close. I think we're 2 days away, and anyone who sees this you know, NFT project and they're passionate about our mission and our utility, we want you to get involved. We want you to share this with others. It doesn't cost you to share the project. You know, some people don't even want to share these things. I've already been sharing now to some of my communities in the fitness community and the space, and a lot of people out there don't understand NFTs and they're uncomfortable when you talk about making money. But this is a great reason to share. I mean, it's for a good cause, but we are for profit, of course. But besides that, I mean, it's an opportunity to make an impact yourselves. And that's kind of what our goal was here. You want to add anything to that, Rochelle?
It's a great point. One of the things that people are panicked about in the market is looking at an entry point in a project, what it costs to get in, and how do you maintain building a portfolio. It's a grind. I wasn't born into wealth. It's a grind. Building wealth, generational wealth, and just building wealth, or it's a grind. It's how much do you want to put in. It's sweat equity. I really like that. Steve gave me that. It's called sweat equity, and I really like it. It's that's what exists here. The opportunity, we allocated a specific wallet for that referral to make sure that we pay out every time. It's on the primary market. So even if you can't afford the mint price of $420 in Polygon, you still have the opportunity to earn. There's only ever going to be 2,100 of the Genesis collection. There are other NFT projects that are planned, but there'll only ever be one that entitles you to a piece of everything that rolls out with the See brand. That's the book series, that's the jewelry line, that's the apparel line, and that's also the animated series, which is slated for next year, further on down in our roadmap. So all in all, it's a comprehensive project that tells you how this stuff is going to be rolled out. We didn't wait to launch and say, well, the first is going to be a book series. No, we ran things side by side. So the book, the manuscript is completed. The book proposal is being shopped around. We already have a few places that are looking really good. But, here's the thing. Until I could take you to court for it, I'm not going to announce it, right? So I like contracts. Contracts are my friend. That means that I have something that is concrete that I could bring to my community and say, okay, here we go. We've delivered again on another part of our roadmap. So it's not just about us telling you, hey, come join, buy the NFT. There's several ways that you can DCA your way in on a project that might be on your means. And that's what LJ was talking about. That's just a part of what the Neuro Collective business plan is to be able to offer that referral marketing strategy to other projects in this space. Marketing in crypto is extremely expensive, but why not utilize the asset that we have, which is our community? Doge, Shiba, XRP, these companies did not get where they got without the commitment of their community. Their community is their biggest value. It is not what's at the end of your wallet. It is their community that maintains their floor. It is their community that buy the dip. It is their community that continue to showcase their faith in those projects. And therefore, that's their number one asset. And that's what our referral program is bringing to NFT in the space, rewarding your community for sharing that information that they would have shared anyway.
In long term, I'll say that, we want to provide more than that. We want to provide vetted projects where you can learn more about DeFi, learn more about, community-backed tokens or project-backed tokens. This is just the beginning. Also, our roadmap has a lot more to offer, what we're trying to do in the metaverse, and I'm sure that we'll speak on that here in a little bit. But it's a long roadmap for us to go through, and we're moving through it steadily. But I'll be frank, this is my first NFT project, and I'm not afraid to say that. I'm a fast learner, I'm a hard worker, and I love to work with like-minded people, and I'm excited where this is going to go. And this isn't one of those projects where we're going to boast and say that we've brought in thousands and thousands of people. We're going to be honest, we're going to be upfront. We've built our community. It's small, but it's strong, and it's organic. And we're going to continue to do that on the 23rd, and then into the days after that and the months after that as we move through these different phases. So it's unique in that way. We're not bringing in a lot of hype. This isn't a hype project where we want people jumping on the bandwagon for 24 to 36 hours. We want people who are going to lock arms with us and move through this roadmap with us, who are going to grow with us, who are going to learn with us if they don't know the space. And we're excited about that as well.
Arms with us. I love that expression. I love that expression because that's what it is. That's what building a community is. That's how you eat a whale one bite at a time. I love it. is what we
Well, I
Absolutely.
think,
talk it all about research
you
and
know,
development.
Mistress, when you bring that up, it just reminds me that every time we stand in front of an audience and talk about the project, we have found that our community grows not just organically, but we have educators, we have parents of children who are neurodivergent. We have people from the education system, university systems, people that are within, the organizations that are set to help, those who are neurodivergent and their allies. So the community isn't just an organic community of small people that are into NFTs. For the most part, it's a group of people that understand the mission. And so for us, it's something that we take real special care of, is continuously building that community for those people. Now, we just spoke about an NFT project that's going to give passive income based on in real life assets. So Mistress and LJ have talked about a jewelry line, the apparel, the children's book, getting into the metaverse in order to connect people globally, to bring the community even closer, to bring those that need help, the help that they need, to move in the direction of building momentum toward this social movement that says we're all different and we should all be celebrated. It doesn't matter how your mind works. You have a special power, whether you're an ally or maybe you don't know anybody who's neurodivergent. When you think of the message of See Me, it says, when I first heard it, see me for who I am, not for who I'm supposed to be or who you think I'm going to be or who you want me to be or who you're paying me to be. See me for me. And so this is a message that just resonates so well. And beyond that, when you know that you own one of these, the promise is there to say now you're a part of the community and you're a core part of the community. And by you doing your part to stay with us and to resonate what LJ has said, kind of like lock arms with us and create this floor for this entire roadmap of great projects to come, you're going to benefit from it. And a benefit to you hearing this message today is that we're not filling the community with pumpers and dumpers. We're not looking at just being wildly successful. How we do it has been a really important part of how we operate and which communities we choose to go into. We don't just feed into the pay for play system that can often, damage projects within this space. This is something to be protected. It's something to be taken seriously. The founders have so many facets of the project that they're working on, and it's to prove that they are super powerful. And now it's time for us to use this as a platform to unravel the social restrictions that people feel and help empower them to feel their superpower again, to feel who they are. And Mistress, I know that Yomi's here on the call. And one of the most beautiful things that we have done is that our first step into real passive income is this children's book. And this is a story that is really meaningful to allies, parents, educators that have children within their organizations or within their family that have neurodivergent characteristics and have to feel different. And there's not a lot of material out there that can speak to them. And so, again, aligned with our mission to bring that exposure and to bring inclusiveness within these communities. Yomi, are you there? I would love to see if it's possible for you to maybe do a chapter read.
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome. Yomi is the co-author of the children's book, and I just love the way that she reads it out. But it's a good indicator for everyone who's here today to understand the kind of impact that we want to make on this community, with our first step being the NFT. And then for those of you taking on the NFT, passive income comes next. So this children's book is almost done. Yomi, go ahead and take it away.
Peace and greetings, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm going to give you a little insight on this particular chapter that I'm going to read. With this one, the main character, Desmond, this was his first day at school. So in this chapter, we're going to be introduced to who will be in the future his two of his best friends. A friendly introduction. Chapter 5. Hi, I'm Anna. The girl with the yellow shirt and black hair whispered to Desmond. He glanced at her. Anna's black hair reminded him of outer space. Her skin was the color of Jupiter's swirling storm. He did not respond. Mr. Connor had started talking to the class. The wall behind Mr. Connor was sunrise orange. Desmond realized that all the colors of the cubbies were also on the walls of the classroom. The hums of the voices was quiet now, and only a slight rustling was heard from a student. Today we're going to talk about the solar system, said Mr. Connor as he wrote the words on the whiteboard. Desmond's eyebrows perked up, and his eyes grew wide. What do we know about the solar system? Asked Mr. Connor. The solar system consists of the sun and 8 planets. Starting with Mercury, it is the closest to the sun. Despite being the closest to the sun, it is not the hottest planet. Venus is the hottest planet and second planet from the sun. Then there's Earth, where we live. Next is Mars, which is also called the red planet. After Mars is the biggest planet, Jupiter. Saturn is not as large as Jupiter, but has a ring system. Uranus rotates sideways, and along with Neptune is an ice giant. Desmond stated all of this while staring at the whiteboard with a blank expression. Mr. Connor smiled in amazement. Wow, well done, Desmond. I see we already have a future astronomer with us. You know a lot about the solar system. But remember, please raise your hands next time. A slight smile appeared on Desmond's face. Mr. Connor was impressed, and his teacher's praise made him happy. Just then, there was a click-clack sound from next to him. The click-clack was coming from the beads. Fingers shifted the beads from side to side, and a soft mumbling could be heard with the click-clacks. Looking at whatever it was, Desmond saw the fingers making the beads move. Olive brown fingers moved the beads quickly, not hard, but just enough to make them move and make noise. Desmond caught a glimpse of a boy's face. He mumbled something to himself as he slid the beads from side to side. Zeke? Mr. Connor calmly called a name. Zeke, we're discussing the solar system. Would you like to add anything to what Desmond has told us? Zeke stopped shifting the beads from side to side. The number of moons. I was using my abacus to determine the number of moons in our solar system. Saturn has 82 moons. Jupiter has 79 moons. Desmond had jumped at the opportunity to help Zeke figure out this equation. Hold on. Mr. Connor smiled and shook his head. I already know where the two of you are going with this. So how about you guys answer those questions and present them later? Desmond saw Zeke from the corner of his eye. His hair was low and smooth on the sides, but curly on the top. Desmond wondered how he would determine the number of moons in the solar system using an abacus. And what exactly was an abacus? Desmond's interest grew. He wanted to know more about the wooden frame with the red and black beads. He wanted to know how Zeke did math like that. And that concludes chapter 5. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amy. You
Awesome.
know, it's right there because we've just data dumped a whole bunch of stuff. And I have been kind of replying to some questions in the chat. But this is where we love to open it up. We find that whenever we do an AMA, we find people within the audiences that can speak to their own personal experience with either being neurodivergent themselves or having somebody that matters most to them also being neurodivergent. And also too, for the leaders of this room, if you have questions for us, let's open it up and let's see what we can answer for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I just want to say, everybody, I know this isn't the normal type of AMA that we bring to you guys, but this one is very near and dear to my heart. So that's why I decided to invite them over to do an AMA and promote this project. Because my son, my youngest son, you guys all know I have 4 kids. My youngest son is ADHD, and my granddaughter is autistic. So this really hit home with me whenever I was being told about this project and introduced to it. So I just thought it was a great opportunity to introduce it to all of you guys. And if you guys like it, great. If you don't, understandable. But please, if anybody has any questions for this awesome group, please ask.
There's more than 10 questions in the chat right now, so you guys can answer those later on as well. So you guys know there are some questions in the chat.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Fisto.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for having me. Very interesting approach. For myself, my brother has Asperger's, so I mean it's all different situation, but still caught my attention. That's why I'm asking, how did you get all those different people together? Like in this project that you built it up from there, how did you manage to build it up, and how did you find all those different people and stories? I mean, it's not a story, but the individuals who make it in the end.
Mistress or LJ?
I can't really explain how we found. That's a great question. My business partner Cole, I've been friends with him for a number of years, and we're both entrepreneurs. So that's how we met. When we met each other, and Cole is ADHD. His brain. He went to school for creative design. His brain is constantly seeing things in a different way, but he's also a member at one of my facilities. He's here's a guy who thinks differently, and he wants to be a professional bodybuilder. And you can imagine me saying that, and I can only imagine what you'd be thinking about that. But this guy is a specimen. His ability to focus on that sport is incredible. And then the projects he works on is the same way. And Ramona, who's known Cole for a number of years, I wish she could speak. I mean, this woman is.
I got my audio ready.
There she is.
Hey, Mona.
Hi, everyone. I guess I'll speak then. So thank you, LJ, for that. So Cole is autistic, and I would agree. He's a linchpin in our group. He has a much needed vacation. For months and months. He's been working on creative with our artist, and he has a lot of really great ideas in regards to the apparel and the fashion that he can bring to that. He currently works in the music industry with lots of well-known artists, and he also works in the very popular shoe industry. So he's an entrepreneur just like LJ. I've known Cole for quite some time. We've known each other since college, and I guess it seems odd that I'm a professor and he's a creative, but we seem to find synergy in the ways that we think. I am ADHD. Inattentive. So I have lots of creative ideas, and I just love bouncing those off of Cole. As far as the rest of the team, I've been in the Web 3.0 space as an NFT enthusiast for a while. That's how I got to know Mistress Money, who is very well known in this space. She brought a lot of her contacts on board. Glyph Sputnik, as we mentioned, is a very well-known street artist who's worked with Wu-Tang Clan, Lupe Fiasco. He's just brilliant and talented. And there are a lot of other people behind the scenes. Yomi has been working on the book with Dr. R, who is also a PhD qualified educator and metaverse scientist who has been working in industry for over 20 years. So we have a well-qualified team. And if I were to add up the years of experience, I'm sure it would be well over 100 years. So thank you for that.
I saw one of the questions in here. We chose, it was, why did we choose Polygon? There were a number of reasons that we chose Polygon, but I think a big part of it was our Nftify platform. And I'll let Rochelle add a little bit about that, but I think we found the perfect opportunity to bring our project to the forefront and do it a little bit differently than everyone else that's out there in their different spaces like OpenSea and whatnot. So Rochelle, would you care to add to why we chose Polygon?
Sure. So you've got Ethereum, which is still being built out and still building its ecosystem, but not allocating a lot of funds currently to bringing a lot of projects on board. While they are well known for NFT projects, they're slowly becoming well known for high-end token projects as well. Polygon, on the other hand, has solved the gas issue, is a fork of Ethereum, and continues to reinvest consistently into building out their blockchain ecosystem. With the advancement of Polygon Studio, it's huge. They're bringing more and more games to the blockchain than ever before. More players, better VR, better metaverse. They have invested. So there's a difference in being on a blockchain that is just slowly becoming popular, and a difference on being a blockchain that's totally invested in building out and really showcasing what they can do. And Polygon is number 3 on that. The other 2 is only exist there because they've been in the game longer. But Polygon is solving issues left and right, and they're promoting. They're putting money out there for projects to convert over. They just V2'd Nobility over to Polygon Studios. They were originally on BSC. So it says that they're invested in making their blockchain a success. We're not looking to be overnight. We're not looking for a cash grab. Let me tell you, the hard work that we put in 22 hours a day, it might have been easier if it was a cash grab, right? I would have been working less. No sleep in the last couple of weeks, neither myself nor the founders. I saw somebody ask, where's the funding coming from? It's coming from pockets, the team's pocket. That's where it's coming from. We understood what this was going to be. It's why we focused on building the utility and the foundation versus then building the community. That came after. What can you give your community if you attempt to build that community without showcasing your strength? We showcased our strength. Our NFT art is done layer by layer, hand-drawn by a respected artist in the field. He happens to also be neurodivergent. In addition to that, we chose the best blockchain that's going to build out the way we want to proceed with our project. That's talking about the children's book series, and publications on a blockchain is becoming more and more popular, right? You have several blockchain publication houses because it's more cost effective. The illustration from the children's book are going to be done exclusively on the blockchain. So we put a lot of thought in making sure that the foundation was solid. That means doing the research for the children's book, getting the right people involved, working day and night to make sure we had a working project and a working arm of our utility ready to showcase when we're ready to drop our NFT. Our manuscript is done, and we haven't even launched yet, right? That's where the funding is coming from. It's coming from pockets, where the ideas are coming from the team. Late nights, just stressing it out, right? What we're going to do, how we're going to proceed and move forward. This is what we do. And this is what we wanted to showcase. The research and development with Pomona and her background, it's not an idea that sat overnight. It really isn't. We've slowly worked out where we expect to be 2 years from now. Solvent, that's where we expect to be. We expect to be in the black. We expect to be moving on to the next stage of what CME is. We have a confirmed partnership with MNFT, which is music NFTs. That's the next arm of the project. And we've got some things building with that. So our internal roadmap is 2 years out. Our external roadmap takes you to January. But by no means is that where we're stopping. We've laid the foundation. If you choose to come on board, that's great. We'd love to have you. Thank you for giving us your time. But this is what blockchain is meant for.
I'll add that we're transparent, and that's a consistent theme for our group. Our open mint isn't by accident. Like we had intent by creating a different kind of, well, basically being open and not having a closed reveal. Are we ready for launch day? Absolutely, as ready as a project could be. The way that we'll be spreading out this mint over the next projects to come is also going to be transparent. It'll be there on the blockchain. You'll be able to take a look at where the funds are going from this project and how they're being distributed throughout the project. And we're very, very intent on making that available for people so that they can see that this isn't a project where I turn my camera on because I want you to see me, no pun intended. I want you to know where I'm at, know who I am, know where I live, and kind of get to know me for me. And that's going to be a running theme throughout this project.
Hello?
I'm just taking some time to answer some of the questions that are coming up in the chat. And one of the things I love is that this community, the people listening, are asking the right questions. Sorry, I had to clear my throat.
Hello?
The questions are coming up. They're asking, putting our feet to the fire and saying, how long has the team been in crypto? How long have we been building this project? And to LJ's point, the transparency is there. You can go to the website. You can see that we're a fully doxed team. I can get on camera right now. I was on camera earlier. So was LJ. We are serious people that have been in the crypto sphere, managing projects. And we found these founders, and they have truly a fantastic gift to build businesses and to also serve a mission. And so using the power of the blockchain and Web3 and the art through NFTs is just a platform to get us to momentum to accomplishing that mission. But I absolutely have to give kudos to the leaders of this community, because I go into so many AMAs out there. And if you're not in the right room, you're not talking to the right audience. And I think somebody had asked earlier, how are you building your community? And we've said a couple of buzzwords, right? We're building it organically, and we're going around and we're meeting people and hearing their stories. But it's true. We're very finicky and very particular about which communities we're going to come into. And in fact, you just heard one of your leaders here today say that this isn't a typical AMA that would be brought in front of this audience, but we connected with him. We connected with somebody that matters most to him in his life. And it's been a beautiful journey for us to know that we were prepared to launch this with some of the, typical checklists that an NFT project can have, but we've diverted and we have found connections and collaborations and partnerships and influencers that understand that this mission is bigger than the cost of advertising, bigger than the cost of pay for play, that we are finding ourselves invited into communities that are open enough to hear that this is beyond just an NFT project. The NFT, for its utility, is using the power of the blockchain to make sure that we can authenticate who owns the right to the passive income for the bigger part of the project. And we didn't want to go around and find the wrong audiences that are going to pump and dump this big opportunity. And so kudos to this team, to this audience for asking the right things, because in the space of new investors coming in and hearing about NFTs or just getting their foot dipped into it, they're looking for fast gains, especially in the market conditions. There's a lot of fear out there. And so people are looking for what's in it for me now. And this is something that's beyond that, right? So we know that regardless if we're in a bull market or a bear market, that there's an audience out there who understands that this is an everyday real life situation that people encounter, and that it doesn't matter what Bitcoin is at or what the cost of other tokens are, that this is going to go on no matter what. And that this is a project that you can get yourself tied to and start to partly own and become a stronger part of the community. Because when these outside of crypto businesses come to fruition, those businesses don't care what's happening in crypto. It's putting the books into children's hands, into families' hands, into schools, so that these children feel like they're being spoken to, and that we can kind of plant the seed in their mind that they're not different, that they're not as different in a way that they need to hide who they are. So I gotta like interrupt there because these questions are great. I've been trying to answer them as we go along. And I'll
add them that I really want to just really touch on, right? It's Phil GA. It is the strongest question for me because at the end of the day, we're talking about investment. Social causes are great, right? They're great. Social causes are great. You give to charity, sure. But I'm in this for business. I'm in this to make money, and I'm in this to make my investors money. And he has a very legitimate question, and I'm glad that he asked it, given the state of the market. But that's the beauty of it, right? You're investing in the blockchain, but your passive income is not tied to the blockchain. So it's a duality that a lot of projects, when they come to market, don't consider. It's the reverse, right? So when Bitcoin is pumping, Ethereum is down. When Ethereum is up, Bitcoin is down. It's that opposite, right? So you should be making money hand over fist. The market is down, but here's the thing. If I own an NFT, or if I wanted to buy an NFT that was valued at $420 on Monday, and the market did what it did last week, and now I couldn't afford it last week at $420, but I deprived myself of Starbucks, let's say for 3 weeks in a row, I'm spending $15 at Starbucks, right? Given where Polygon was, down to 32 cents, I could have afforded it today. And what's Polygon doing right now? I think it's back up to 40 something cents. That's how you need to approach investing. And this is not financial advice. This is simply my strategy to building wealth for myself and my family, right? You eliminate the things in your life, you downscale and you sacrifice. We don't get a chance. The BIPOC community, we don't get a chance. The blue collar community, we don't get a chance. Investment and wealth building always belong to those that was born into it. Not anymore. This is what crypto is all about. The very foundation of what crypto was built on, equal playing field, level playing field, equal opportunity for all. This is it. This is it. And it's just how you choose to play the game, right? Are there any guarantees? Absolutely not. Crypto is going to do what crypto is going to do regardless. So will the economy. The question is, are you prepared to understand what you're buying into for value? Are you prepared to hold or flip to make a quick buck? Because there ain't nothing wrong with making a quick buck, right? But are you understanding what's being presented before you? Are you given all of the information to make the smartest decision for yourself and your family? And I feel like we've done that in giving you all of the information you need to make the best decision for you. This is what DeFi truly is about. This is what I absolutely adore about this space. Let me give you what I can bring to the table, and it's up to you whether you sit down and eat.
Yeah, and the way I look at this project, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but this is not a charity project. This is an education project designed to make money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cole is not here, so I will say this. he puts people above profit, but I'm not calling Mistress Money for any other reason, right? So me and him go at it all the time. But I will say this, the opportunity to bring about social change through profit comes along once in a lifetime. I am not only neurodivergent myself, but I'm a parent to neurodivergent children. I understand the trauma my son endured at public schools, especially New York City. It is where I am pushing the hardest to get our books in the school. So I'm pushing the hardest to get our books on the shelf. There is trauma related to being neurodivergent that's difficult to overcome, because you always from they established it in the education system where you're just not enough, right? Like no matter what you do, you're just not enough. Albert Einstein was neurodivergent, right? Biggest contributor to science was neurodivergent. So how is it that we can't understand as a society that we all learn differently, and in learning differently, we can achieve more together? And that's what I want people to walk away from, whether you choose to invest or not. What I do want you to understand is that being different mentally does not mean being diseased, does not mean stupid or dumb. It doesn't. My son is one of the smartest young men I know at 20. Just an interesting person to talk to hear how his mind connect the dots, the things that he sees, and talks about his love for classical music, to watch him sit and write, absorbed in his own world with music. Watch my daughter paint. I've got twins, and watch her paint and be absorbed into that world and create such beautiful gifts that I absolutely cannot. So we need people like us in society, because you have those that are just good. I can look at data and connect the dots, but I don't have that creativity, and they do. So being different should not be a detriment to belonging as part of the collective in our society.
No, absolutely. I mean, the richest man in the world right now is neurodivergent.
I think pushing it through that way, where people understand, they call it NFT for good. We're being represented this week by Aaron in NFT NYC, right? And they call it, they actually have a special listing for what they call NFT for good. Are we going to contribute to societies? Are we going to have scholarships for neurodivergent? Absolutely. Should we become solvent enough? Absolutely, we're going to provide that. But our first commitment is to our investors. Our first commitment is to make sure that we're providing that value that we stated that we would to anyone that buys the Genesis collection, right? So we do have those things along the way, but the very foundation that we're building is all about marrying the possibility, because that's what it was before, the possibility of what the true utility of an NFT can do. And I think we've done that in a very successful way. We've showcased individual art, wasn't randomly generated by a computer, it was hand-drawn layer by layer. And then showcasing that beauty for the cause, what it represents, what Ethereum really was built on, NFTs, right? Showcasing what that is, and then tying it into a utility that leads right back to real life. I think we've hit the trifecta with our project, and I've seen very few that have done that and did not calculate for sustainability, but we have. We've taken all of that into consideration on our build and our move forward.
Awesome. So do we have any more questions from the community?
Mistress, there was a recent question here in the chat. Can we discuss whether or not there are levels of rarity with the NFTs? And because the profit is going to be coming from our in real life asset projects, what can people expect in terms of?
Oh boy, oh man. Okay, so I will say this to you. I ran it, and I ran it again, and I ran it for a third time, right? And everything is weighted on percentages. So I will give you this alpha. When you go to Mint, because remember, whitelist is on Wednesday, that means they get first pick. The entire collection will be there, and they can go through and look at the properties, right? So if I'm creating an NFT collection, Typically, you will assign something like common, rare, legendary, or epic. Well, it's an open mint. I can't assign that. What I can assign is percentages, and I could weigh it so that certain things show up often or not as often, or maybe once out of the entire collection. So ask yourself, are you looking to bond to one of the NFTs based on the facial expression? Or are you looking to bond because of the clothing style? Or are you looking to bond because of some of the unique backgrounds? That should help narrow down your search. And then when you look at properties, look at the percentages. So if you're looking to flip, that's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, you would want to have something that will be weighted properly to flip it on the open market, right? So you want to look at the properties, and then you want to look at the percentages. How much does a certain characteristic within the NFT is weighted? So let's say it's 0.2% of the collection. That's how you're going to determine your rarity.
I'm buying a background. This is LJ. I'm just making that clear. I'm buying a background.
LJ, come on, man. You just gonna let it out like that?
I'll put it out there. I like the facial expressions. I got a couple that I'm looking at.
Yeah, now that math part of it was done absolutely randomly. That characteristic is called see me expression 1 through that number. So you're literally going to have to take a look to see how many times that appear, because I'm not going to make that data available as a comprehensive list until after the mint, right? But you get first crack if you're whitelisted. After that, it's open to the public. And then the lucky person tonight is going to get a mint pass. So the typical rules that people attribute to NFTs don't apply to this collection. You really want to be paying attention to that property box once it goes live. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. So, any other questions from the community?
So what do I have to do to get a whitelist right now?
Mistress, is the Gleam campaign still on?
The Gleam campaign has been running for a while. I actually have that cut off to export the whitelist. That was done today, actually. I would tell you join the Discord. What we try to do, because, you know, people don't have time to grind all day in Discord. If you attended an AMA, we were giving whitelist. E-Ray and Steve have been really outstanding on supporting this project. So I'll be happy to whitelist everyone that wants one. If you go to the Discord and at Kingmaker, requesting a whitelist.
She loves it when you add her at all hours of the night, during the day. Feel free to add.
Do it.
No, I really don't. I don't know how you guys want to do the mint pass giveaway. They're going to have a special time they mint. And I will be honest, guys, I ran it 3 times. And I'm probably going to run it again, only because I'm trying to be as fair as possible to the free mint pass winners so that they have an opportunity to mint something that they like as well. But it came right down to allocating the numbers. So free mint pass winners are going to be able to mint numbers 2000 to what is it, 2001 to 2100, right? So I've got 100 allocated for giveaways and collaborations. So yours will be earmarked, but I try to make it as diversified as possible. So are there going to be some quote unquote legendaries in there? Yeah, there will be. There will be. But you know, the NFT itself is where the value is. The art is actually secondary. Holding the NFT itself is the value, right? Because you're talking passive income in perpetuity. What does that mean? As long as the project is viable, as long as there's a book on the shelf, you're earning money.
So, Mistress, I'm answering a couple of questions in the chat. I just want to go over some key details. The pre-mint. the 23rd. So in 3 days, depending upon where in the world you are, it's Thursday, 8 p.m. UTC time, which is 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The public mint is next day, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Yomi has put those details into the main chat if it's easier for you to read. The mint price, Mistress, did we mention the mint price yet? I'm not sure.
Yes, $420, but Polygon has been fluctuating, so you'll probably see at one point, I think it said 820. It took 820 Matic to buy it. And another place you might see 420, but remember, we've been building this since February, March. And so the price fluctuation. So please excuse that, but the price is $420 in Matic.
Correct. And there were some questions about the referral program. So if you go to theneurocollective.com, I've posted it here in the main chat. That is our main website. You can scroll down just a little further, and that's where you're going to find the referral link. So you can sign up, and then you're going to receive a unique link that you can send out to others that you think are going to want to be there for the pre-mint or the public mint this week. And if they use your link to mint, that means that you're going to get 10% of that 420 mint price as a way to say thank you for building the community.
Yeah. Make sure that you are registering a good wallet, because that's what's going to be used to compute the data, right? Because when you go through the referral link, you have to sign up. You get your unique code. That wallet address is where your payout is going to be. It's on the primary market only. I'm not on the secondary market. So let's say between now and midday, you referred 10 people and 10 people minted. They provide their wallet address. So there's no way to cheat the code. Like, as long as you send it to someone, they have to register a wallet address. They mint with that wallet address. That wallet address is tied to you. So you will get that payment. There's no way to cheat that. It's scannable on the blockchain. You know, the blockchain tells all. So 10 people, you refer 10 people and 10 people minted, then that's $420 coming back to you in Matic. No, it's not a music book. We do have 3 versions of the book that will be available for sale. We expect to be putting up the pre-sale, pre-order option soon. Only the audiobook will be available for pre-order because we're working on the illustrations. So you can pre-order the book as an audio version. So you have the audio version, you have the ebook version, and then you have the physical copy as well. So there are 3 versions of the book that's going to be released. And that's the first of the series of books planned. But I like where you're going by asking about the music, because that's yeah. That's a little helpful for you. Music is coming, so I'm glad to see you enjoy Snoop Dogg. We're not really focusing on game. I'll tell you why, Tutor. When you look at play to earn, right? And you want a well play to earn game, you're looking at the graphics. You're looking at being able to capture that audience for an extended period of time. It also means that you have to have some really big partnerships. You've got to put a lot of money into it because frankly, what will make a blockchain game successful is having it available both online and in the App Store. That means Google Play Store. That also means iOS. That also means Microsoft, right? That means Xbox, PlayStation, and all of that should be built out beforehand. That's a big undertaking that we weren't ready to allocate resources for. I'm not saying it's not something that we might look at down the roadmap, that it may become feasible, but as of right now, it wasn't part of our scope because we knew the very foundation that needed to be built on wasn't out of resources that we had time and the funds to allocate to building out properly.
I'll just mention that. Sorry, my kids. I'll just mention that part of what I'm going to be looking at, which you will not see on the light paper because we have an internal roadmap. It is government grants for metaverse applications. And I mentioned Doc R. He does a lot of metaverse work with Microsoft. So we're not putting this all here. This is a little bit of alpha, but we don't want to use our operational budget to develop out expensive metaverse utilities for you. What we want to do is pair it with research so that we get the grant funds, and we're using those grant funds to develop those expensive utilities, if that makes sense. You're not going to see that on the light paper because it's contingent on those grants, but you know, I am an assistant professor. I apply for grants regularly. I currently recently won a prize for virtual care. I have a PhD student starting in September who is going to be working on this project exclusively. This student is a psychotherapist and has a background in philosophy, interpretation, and culture. We'll bring on engineering students as well. So this is really responsible and sustainable funding for some of the larger aspects. I just want you to think about what we decided to prioritize, how we decided to ensure that you get your passive income incentives sooner than later while we build out these larger utilities.
Awesome. Tons of great information there. So, is there any other questions from anybody that they would like to get asked before we run out of time here?
You want to do the giveaway, Steve? The Mint Pass.
You know, best way I know to do it is pick the people who ask the best questions and reward them.
I'm kind of biased, man. I love questions about the market. You know, it just shows that you're an investor that does your own research, that you understand that there's a correlation to what the zeros in your wallet and what happens in the world. You know, for a while, Moon Boys kind of took over the crypto space thinking that with $20 you're going to make 2 million. It's an unreasonable expectation. We saw big projects that got tanked because of it. There are lawsuits coming because of it. And this is the reason why we have an LLC. This is a business. The Neuro Collective is a business, and bringing forth a solid plan to showcase our business roadmap, so to speak, right? So I like that question a great deal, but the others may feel differently.
I'm just going back through the questions here in the chat, seeing if there's
FILGA that asked the question about the relationship with the market and where the project was at.
Okay.
That's typically what happens, Peter. People that are whitelisted get first crack at minting before everyone else. That's what whitelisted means. So your wallet address, if you got a whitelist, your wallet address will be exported to our own NFT marketplace. It's secure. It's our own NFT marketplace. It's secure. And once you connect, as long as you're on our whitelist, once we go live, you can connect your wallet and you'll be able to pick whichever NFT that you like and mint it. Did anybody else, LJ, Ramona, did you guys have a different question in mind? Different comment in mind that you
No, I think we've covered it all. Really appreciative of the time. Not sure how Steve's going to take care of the mint passes, but really appreciate the call.
That's what I'm asking.
Well, I was just wanted your guys' input on who you thought asked the best questions, and then we could pick one from them. or however many you guys are doing.
Andrea, Andrija.
Okay.
I was
Yep.
engaging with them a lot in the chat. We also have Turtor. I don't know if that's the proper way to say that. And Willis Wowick.
Okay.
And
how many passes are we doing?
What were the names that you had, Carmen? You had 3.
Yes.
We have Turtur and Willie's World Kick.
Yeah, add Phil GA to it, and I'll give him in pass to all 4 of them.
And anyone who's going to whitelist, head to our Discord at King Moneymaker. All right.
But I like that.
E-Ray, type in the chat about the passes for the 4 that they chose, please.
All right, perfect. I will right now for you guys. Andrea.
You know everybody's handles better than I do.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, they just have to make sure they join the Discord at the Discord master for the mint passes, and I'll verify with him, and they'll be added to the room to provide their wallet addresses.
I don't have anything to add. I just wanted to say thank you for having us. And I wanted to also mention that this is one of the most well-informed groups that we've ever given an AMA to. I really applaud the caliber of your group and the nature of the questions that you've been asking. So I just wanted to say thank you. And we'd appreciate it if you do love this project, if you'd share it. There's many ways to do that. Join our Discord, tweet. We're very excited about our mint, and we'd love to have your support. Thank you.
Awesome.
May I throw
thanks for the kind words.
Can I throw a question out?
Yeah, go ahead, Sean.
Just curious on why the price of $420. Just wondering why on that.
Well, it was originally supposed to be about 900, but then the market went down, so that's why it settled at 400.
Yeah, it's sustainability. Sustainability.
They say it's a relaxing number as well.
But
420.
But just in context, like, why are you charging $900 for your NFTs? Just in detail.
So when you take a look at the utility that's being offered and the percentage that's being paid back by a real life product being backed, and spending the resources to get those books on the shelf, with the context that we have with the New York City Board of Ed, it wasn't the expectation that we do a book and then try to market it. We have those contacts in place, actively pushing it. It's one of the reasons why we're an LLC. It's one of the reasons why we have the SAM.gov ID, so that we can do business with the federal government. So the percentage is being paid back because we own every aspect of the book. The book is ours. From copyright, we don't have to pay out anyone. The book is ours. And so we are looking to give a hefty percentage back to the seed founders. That's why it's called the Genesis Collection. It builds out the rest of the utility. It keeps the project going. So it's about sustainability. It was not about putting money in our pocket.
Okay.
And that's 420 USD. So not $900. That would be closer. Well, there's fluctuation. It could be 900 Matic or around there, but 420 USD.
Yeah, I heard the update about because the market's fluctuating. So, all right, cool. Thank you.
The reason why many of our players are asking those questions are most of the NFTs that we have promoted so far are between $20 to $50, or maybe maximum $100. But you guys have to know those projects are on Polygon, Ethereum, and stuff like that. So they have different prices than BSC, and they have bigger utility than BSC so far. So that is also the reason of the price.
Sean, what I really like about that question is when you look at what an NFT is typically known for, it's known for art, but art is dependent on the buyer. The buyer sets that price because it's left to their interpretation of what that art is and the value of it, right? But not when an NFT is tied to a utility. When an NFT is tied to a utility that showcase passive income or a reward back, so to speak, you get something back for having it, for having bought it. That's when you really showcase the power of the blockchain. The very first utility for an NFT in my book has always been VeChain, because the fundamentals of what an NFT is, which is ownership, was established by VeChain a very long time ago. You scan anything at Walmart or any other store, that barcode that's being scanned, that's proof of ownership. This is how recalls are done. When it comes to food, to any other item in real life, there's a barcode. That barcode is built on the blockchain. So when it's scanned, ownership is then traced. And this is how you're contacted. That's proof of ownership. And that's what NFT's real use case are. Proof of ownership. So here's proof of ownership of your part in this company that pays you back in passive income.
Awesome. Does that answer your question, Sean?
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Any other questions?
Not a question, but I will say we all love passive income. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, we have a huge passive income following here.
It's what's gotten me through this lovely fire sale that we had. That's the thing, right? You can hold. That's the thing about crypto. We've got cycles. But what happens when you're forced to hold, right? Am I just holding and praying that it goes up? Or am I holding and saying, hey, it don't matter what the market does, I'm still making money. And that's what I want to do. Put me with a project that says, hey, no matter how the market does, you're still going to be earning X amount every day. Will it be as much? No, but I'm still earning, right? So if I invest $420 today and I get a guarantee in 6 months, not only do I make back my initial investment, right? Or I double that, but I still hold the original item that I purchased that is still tradable and has an independent value all on its own on the blockchain. So I'm not only double dipping, I'm dipping 3 times. Right? That's the power of NFTs. It's a little different concept when it comes to tokens. Tokens are dependent on so many things to push it. Active marketing to bring in new investors. I'm constantly watching the buys and sells because this is what people do. They'll sell when it's up by $10. NFTs are a little different because of the utility that it's built with. People understand a little bit better the transient value that it offers. So it's a different marketing strategy and it's a different investment strategy for most people when it comes to NFTs. It's not the same result like a token.
Awesome. Any other questions or comments? All right. You guys want to say anything in closing for everybody? Or have you pretty much said it all?
I hope we've answered everyone's questions. Usually Carmen likes to give the wrap up. We tend to ramble. She's got
yeah.
points.
Well, I will say this. If anybody has any additional questions, and that goes for those who listen to this later, feel free to DM everybody or join their Discord or just reach out. This is a great group of people, and they will be happy to answer questions. All right. Well, with that said, I think I will go ahead and end the recording session of this.